Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, Noirberry. There is no cutesy introduction today because today's video is very raw, and this video is a sort of a testimony, not for any religious reasons, but as an ex-people pleaser and someone who has been through a lot of hardships in their life at such a young age. I'm only 22 years old, and when I think about the things I've been through, and where I am now, it's I just really wanted to make a video, and hopefully the things I discuss in this video and my advice will hopefully help someone out there. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. So I will discuss what the situation that led me to think about making this video, and then I'll talk about the things I've been through and my advice. So feel free to use any points in this video. You don't have to listen to all of it, and yeah, totally okay. The last two videos I have been talking about switching to a new job that was at an airport. I got the job and I lasted 1 month. I know. And basically, he was working as a receiver and I was working as a busser and wait staff. My boyfriend referred me to the job. The supervisor was nice, everyone was really nice, he had no complaints. He was like, this is the best job ever, which that's his experience and that's wonderful for him. But I had a different experience. We have a female supervisor, and she, before I had started working there, me and my boyfriend are currently sharing my car. His car is in the shop right now, so me and him have been using my car. And before I started working there, the supervisor, her car, something is going on with her car. So he asked me, do you mind if I pick her up from work with your car and take her back home? She lives like right down the street from the job, you know, not that far, like 10 minutes away. I had no problem with it. I say, of course. You know, it could have been anyone. I don't care if it was the supervisor. I don't care that she was the supervisor. It's not like, oh, because I want to get in a good grace of the supervisor, of course I will do that. No, it could have been anyone and I would have had no problem with it, because that's just how I am. At least, I guess, who I used to be. He does that. You know, I documented it 2 videos ago of the hassle of getting into the job with the airport, you know, the badging office, that whole process. And then I got it and everything was going great. When I first started the job, the supervisor was telling me that, oh, you're gonna love this other girl. Due to her religion, she is not really able to interact with the male coworkers, so I'm sure she'll love having you on the floor with her and you guys can talk, all that. And I'm like, okay, great, like I can't wait to meet her. Like I said, it only lasted a month, so this story is like, it's like occurs in weeks, you know what I mean? It's only been, what, 4 weeks, I want to say. So yeah, week 1, or I guess my first day working with the girl, the supervisor, with the way the schedule was set up a bit weird due to staffing and stuff like that, but the supervisor was not there some days. So just keep in mind that until I actually specify later in the story, the supervisor is not around, this specific one. So the first day, the girl was nice that I was training with, the one I was going to be working on the floor with. She was nice. It was a very easy job in my opinion. Like, the tasks were easy, but I'll get to that later of what became hard. So the tasks were easy. You just pick up the customer's plates, their glasses, bust the tables whenever they leave, and fill up the buffet. It kind of had a buffet style, and you just refill it whenever you want it, whenever it needed to. You know, and just make sure everything is clean. That's it. Very easy. It wasn't hard for me to grasp. You know, in this video, I want to say stuff like, I want to use phrases like, oh, in my opinion, but no, I know what's fact, and I'm really getting into this new mentality because I am just so over it. But again, we'll get into that later. So no, everything I'm saying is for fact, because I really just want to lean on to being like, oh, in my opinion, it was really easy. No, it was easy and you were being used. The first day, she tells me, not my first day, sorry. So the first day she trains me, goes smooth. I feel like I'm learning. Second day, she trains me again. I feel like I definitely have it down. The third day, she tells me, oh, I would prefer if you handle the customers and do the tables and stuff while I handle the food. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I had no problem with that. Until I noticed that the club, because that's what it was a club at the airport. Sometimes the club would get sometimes the club would get a little busy. And I can handle it. I used to work at Sheetz, and if you don't know, Sheetz is a gas station, and they serve food, like actual food. And Sheetz, I feel like I used to work third shift, and Sheetz is open 24 hours. Despite the weather, if something has not happened to the store, we are still running. And I used to work there, and I feel like that was the busiest job I've ever had. But yeah, so I feel like if I could handle Sheet's third shift, I can handle this, a few more customers. So very easy, but I noticed that I would get tired from carrying all these dishes, and she didn't interact with me. And that's okay, but she didn't help me. So, I was told something different during onboarding, and now I'm, dealing with the total opposite. I'm told that, oh, you guys will be together on the floor, when really it's just me on the floor. Is she helping with the food? Yes. And I would help with the food sometimes too, okay? It's not like I'm just only helping the customers. But yeah, she would talk to the male coworkers all the time, and that's okay. But when it gets to the point where you're not doing anything and you're just talking to the not male customers, sorry, our male coworkers, and you see me struggling and you just look the other way, there's something wrong. So I have been dealing with it. I vented about it to my boyfriend, I vented about it to my mother, and they were both kind of unsure on how I should handle it. And I was too, but we were just kind of unsure. So I was like, okay, well, it's not really affecting me that bad. Is it annoying? Yes. But can I still handle it? Yes. So I just didn't say anything. Today is Monday, February 10th. And on February 6th, Thursday, this is what happens. It was a very, very busy day. The busiest that the club has ever been that I have seen. And again, that is okay, but what happened wasn't okay. It's just busy, okay? It's just very busy. There's a lot, like almost every seat of the club was filled at tables, at desks, things like that. And I'm just gonna say it how it is. I'm not gonna specify, there's nothing to specify. I just didn't receive help throughout the whole day. Others will say otherwise, but no, I didn't. The only time I can agree with others saying they may have helped me throughout the day is when I was on my break. So I had a tray, to carry the dishes and glasses. It got to the point that there were two in the back in the kitchen. There were two tall stacks of plates, and it was just ridiculous to me. To just go back and forth, and it's okay going back and forth, that's the job. However, it was ridiculous to me to go back and forth and having nowhere to put these dishes because nobody's doing the dishes. You guys are in the back talking, laughing, talking about TikTok, whatever you want to talk about, which they were, like, whatever. But yeah, and you notice me having to move these dishes, just putting them in the sink, making room, and nothing. No, oh, just not communicating anything to me, not even asking if I'm all right, anything. So the day goes like that. I'm getting incredibly frustrated, and I think I have the facial, like, I can't really hide my facial expressions. So it was around, I worked 12 to, it was like 12 to 9, but sometimes we would get out at like 10 or 11. So whatever. So I got to work at noon, and around, I want to say 6 or 7 o'clock, I start to get very tired and frustrated. My legs are aching. My arms are aching really bad. I've never had my arms or legs ache so much in my life, ever. My phone said I took 11K steps at work. That's crazy. Yeah, this is, I don't really care. I was okay. I was gonna say that I didn't get tipped the whole day, but I don't really care. Everyone was nice. They were nice to me. You know, that's not important to me. But you know, it's just like nothing good happened to me that day. So one of my male coworkers started to, I honestly don't know if he was being genuine. I feel like he was being genuine. I think he was being genuine. However, I don't know how to put it. Basically, he just kept asking me, Emily, are you okay? You're starting to look sad. You're starting to look angry. You're starting to look upset. And he was asking me multiple times towards the end of the shift. And I was like, yes, thank you, I'm fine. Which, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I should have said, no, I am incredibly upset because I feel like I'm not getting help. Could you help me out on the floor? But I didn't. So I will accept that maybe I should have said that. However, I just now remembered, however, I asked the girl, because usually the boys tend to stay in the back, in the back rooms doing prep and washing the dishes. I was told during onboarding that this woman was supposed to be alongside me, helping me on the floor, and she was not. Whether the supervisor was there, whether she wasn't there, she did not help me on the floor. The only time she would ever help me on the floor was if I was on break. Ever. I don't care what anyone has to say. I know the truth. I know what I experienced, and you're not going to twist it around. Sure, lie all you want, but I know what happened to me. The club closes at 8:30. So they announce, the front desk ladies, they will announce and say, hey, it's time to go. We have to start cleaning. Everyone have a safe flight. Go down to your gate. But at this point, I was very upset. I know that they know that what they were doing was not okay. We're all adults here. And I don't want to really go there, and I'm not trying to make myself seem some type of way by saying this, but I was one of the youngest people there. And what I mean by that is we're all adults. So if I feel it, you definitely feel it. You know, it's just like, you should be old enough to know that what you're doing isn't okay. And they knew it wasn't okay. They knew it wasn't okay. So when they announced that, I go to my supervisor who's in the business room. She's doing her work on her computer. I ask her, I'm like, hi, I'm not feeling so well. Do you mind if I bust the tables like I usually do, but after that leave early? Usually I would bust the tables and then help them wash dishes in the back, but I felt that they didn't deserve it. If I'm being honest, you do not deserve my help after what has happened today. Why should I put in extra work? Like, no. You should at least put in some work today. So you do the work at the end of the day. She says, yeah, that's totally fine. I'm like, okay, thank you so much. Tell her goodbye. When I finish, cool. Later that night, I get home. The drive home, horrible. My legs pressing the gas. I was literally, my arms, my legs, I was literally hitting those bumps, that line, you know, on the highway, because my arms hurt so bad, my legs hurt so bad that I could barely drive myself home. That's ridiculous. So I get home. My boyfriend already knew how my day was going because I was keeping him updated about the day. He already knows what I was going through because, you know, I would just tell him how I felt about that girl and how I don't receive help from her. So he already was aware. He saw how bad my legs were hurting. He was like, I'm so sorry. Like, you know, that's all he can do. All he can do is really apologize and try and comfort me. So later that night, we're in bed, you know, just like trying to go to sleep, watching TV together, when the other supervisor, a male supervisor, calls my boyfriend. My boyfriend steps out of the room when they start getting on the phone. I'm like, oh my goodness, like something must be going on, like that he can't, you know, like I could just tell, you know. He comes back into the bedroom, and I forget how specifically the conversation with my boyfriend, but basically it was along the lines of, Emily, the supervisors and the team are upset that you have been leaving work early and you are not closing with them. I go, well, first of all, I didn't say this to my boyfriend, you know, but first of all, why are they calling you? You know, and he did say that it was a bit odd that they called him because I left it, but we had a work group chat, and after my text messages, I would put -Emily. So if you use your brain, you can go on the group chat and be like, oh, Emily's texted that group chat multiple times. You should put it together, get it together. Oh my goodness. Like, there's no excuse. There's no excuse. Say it to my face. Basically, my boyfriend's like, yeah, they're upset that you've been leaving early. You're not been closing with them. So I was only there for like 4 weeks, right? Literally last week that I worked, that's when they started having coming up to me and telling me, oh, Emily, because sorry, here's the thing. The first weeks I was there, I would do what I had to do, and they said I can go home. Why would do you really think I would just bust the tables and just, oh, I'm done, leave? No, I wouldn't. I would bust the tables at the end of the day and ask around, do you want help with this? I would even ask the girl or the woman, excuse me, but no, the girl, because she's acting like one. I would ask the girl, do you need help? And she would just be like, no. She would hoard the buffet area. She'd be like, no, I got it. Even if it was busy and it looked like she needed help, you know, refilling different foods, I'd be like, oh, let me help you. She'd be like, no, it's okay. No, I'll clean it. No, please, just sit to the tables. Like, she wasn't rude about it, but it's like, I would tell the male supervisor, because sometimes I would close with him. I would tell the male supervisor, which he's a year younger than me. Just saying. I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just trying to give more information. He was a year younger than me. He seems like a okay guy. I can't really say much about him because I do want to say that the way he went about it was a bit weird, you know, telling my boyfriend instead of telling me. Like, even if you didn't have my number, you genuinely didn't know my number, you could tell him, what's Emily's number? I need to talk to her, please. Is it that fucking hard? Last week is when they start telling me, Emily, we would like for you to stay behind. And I had this one-on-one with the male supervisor. I was like, oh, so what does that look like? Like, because you guys tell me you don't need help with anything, so what would you like me to do? He was like, oh, honestly, if you could just stand around and really just leave with all of us, because it looks bad when you're the one leaving early, yet we're leaving like an hour later. All right, if that's what you're asking, I can do that, which is what I did. I learned how to wash dishes during that time. They just had a specific way. I mean, I know how to wash dishes, but you know, in the restaurant field, you know, they have a dishwasher, and I've never used a dishwasher, so I learned very easy, and I would help, but most of the time I was just standing around waiting for them to finish because they want us to leave at the same time. Okay. It's not like I didn't ask them multiple times if they need help with anything. No. So yeah. And so basically, I tell my boyfriend, no, I'm telling him what I'm telling you. And he's like, ah, that's weird. I'm like, yeah, that's weird. And he basically tells me, look, I think that you should leave the job. And I was not surprised when he said this, because you can feel when people have secret animosity towards you. You can feel when people don't like you or secretly hate you or are jealous of you, because it's little things like you come into the room and they stop talking. You try to join in on the conversation and they ignore you, just shut you out. Something I experienced while working there that I tried to kind of just let go was when I talk to certain people, because I will go up and talk to somebody, but most of the time you do have to come to me, and I'm just like, oh hi, like I'm like a dog. I'm like, oh hello, how are you? Like, oh my goodness. But most of the time I will not really go towards you or approach you. So I found that when people did that, other people would kind of exchange like a glare, like they're talking to her. And we had to talk about it, just about my feelings and, things like that. And he sympathized with me, my boyfriend sympathized with me. That's all he really can do. I understand that he has his own experience. I'm not going to tell him to leave that job just because of what I'm going through. We're all adults here, and he has to make his own money. It's, even though me and him are together, we still are two separate people. And that's what I did, and I have receipts. So basically, I messaged my supervisor. I was crying. I was very upset. I was like, I just don't understand. Like, it's like it all just made sense. I mean, deep down I knew, and I had a feeling that this wasn't going to work out due to like how I was already starting to be treated, because the switch up was crazy. Well, I had like tired myself out by crying, and I felt better afterwards, but it's not like I went to sleep crying, but I had cried, got comforted by my boyfriend, and then like we went to sleep. The next day I had to go to work. I thought it over the entire morning. My arms and legs were still a bit sore. Like, it wasn't like I couldn't walk or I couldn't drive to work anymore, because I could, which is really ridiculous that I've never felt that in my life. This is a blessing in disguise, because that was horrible. That was a horrible ride home. I was swerving. I was driving slow because I couldn't, it hurt to push my foot down more on the gas. But yeah, it wasn't like I couldn't drive myself to work or like, but I was thinking to myself, man, after having that conversation with my boyfriend, and deep down I already knew and I was already aware of things, but I was just trying to like, give it a shot. I'm like, well, make excuses for their behavior and how they were treating me. And I was like, well, one, if I go into work and my legs are still like wearing off, imagine how it'll be when I get off. I'm not being dramatic. It's not being dramatic. It's not. If my legs are still sore, if my legs weren't sore that day and then they got sore, so if they're still sore and I proceed to work that shift and they proceed to use me and not help me out, how am I going to feel when I get off work? Am I really gonna have to wait? And honestly, no, I can't even wait it out because my legs were still hurting the next day. So it's like, it's not like I can wait in my car for a moment and be like, okay, now I can drive. No, they're going to be in pain. So I was like, this isn't worth it. I was like, no. So I remained positive about the situation, but I texted my supervisor. I was like, hey, just honestly, the story speaks for itself. As you can see from those screenshots, it's giving deflection. You're deflecting. You're lying to me, you're gaslighting me, you're manipulating me, and I'm not having it. I told my boyfriend, I have his location. I told my boyfriend he is not allowed to give her any more rides to and from work. I was like, you can still, uh, you know, like use my car to go to work. Of course, I love you. You're my boyfriend, but no more. So that was what happened, and I quit my job. And I could afford to quit my job because college, I get my FAFSA next week. First of all, today is Monday. I get paid Thursday or Friday. I get paid Thursday or Friday. And then next week, next Thursday, I'm getting a few thousand that will be able to pay my rent, be able to pay my bills. I can afford to leave this shitty job. Can you say that? Can any of them say that for themselves? It's really a blessing in disguise. And my boyfriend told me that, and it's just been sticking with me because I was really upset. And now that it's been a few days and I'm just looking back on it, I'm really entering this new mentality of fuck all of you, because just everyone. It's like, I cannot believe. And then I started just thinking about other stuff that I've been through in my life, and I was like, I just can't believe I was ever sad, ever cried because you are a shitty person and you want to treat others and me like trash. Why would I cry over that? Like, look at me now. I am furthering my education. I am learning. I am taking architectural CAD. I'm learning in CAD and programming. I'm young. I can afford to quit my job next week. This week and next week, I'm going to pay my bills ahead and still have money to shop and buy things. I have no children. When I have a crappy day, if I have one, I don't have to worry about children. I don't have to worry about transportation or how I'm going to get home from work. I don't have to come home in dirty clothes with food all over me. I don't have to wash dishes and pick up dishes and refill food. I don't have to do that stuff. And I will never do those things again. Not shaming you if you do, but I believe you get what I'm trying to say. It's crazy. I have been through a lot of traumatic things that I don't want to discuss, but I have like 3 really big traumatic points in my life. One happened when I was in elementary school, one happened when I was in middle school, and one happened when I was in high school. And like I said, look at me now. I'm chilling. Do you know what I'm going to do? It's 9 o'clock in the morning. Do you know what I'm going to do after I upload this video, edit it real quick and upload it? I'm going to go to the mall and I'm going to shop. After quitting my job, I'm going to go to the mall and have like a good day. Like, what? The middle school and high school experience I had were social. Like, I went through something in elementary school privately, but in middle school and high school, that was public. And horrible. Just horrible. It's just crazy because I've had thoughts about ending it due to how people had treated me and what people have done to me. People can say all they want that words don't hurt, but I don't believe that. And I don't think anyone should, because words do hurt. Both hurt, words and actions. And ever since middle school, the things I've been through up until high school, the things I've been through, I wanted to end it because of the things I went through and the things that was said to me or done to me. And I'm glad that I didn't, because I wouldn't be where I am now. And I'm very happy to be here. And honestly, I use it as motivation. You know, I have subscribers that are people who have done shitty things to me. I can look at my subscribers. Like, if you go to YouTube Studio, you can see who subscribed to you. And although I have, I think 80 subscribers, not much, there are some people in there. My light died. But yeah, I know they have talked shit about me. I know they have indulged in the things that made me want to commit and just partaked in everything. And here they are watching me, you know, sharing it to their friends, laughing at me, all that, but they're not doing better than me. I know they're not. Like, I know they're not. Anyone who has ever wronged me or treated me horribly are not better than me. But I want to say, now let's get into my advice as someone who I guess is now an ex-people pleaser, because now I'm over it. I'm really over it. You know, when I was younger, I used to ask my dad, why did they do that? And I remember my dad telling me multiple times, because I'll ask it so much, I never understood. I still don't, but he said, Emily, you do not know how cruel people can be. You don't have to do anything. People sometimes don't do unto others as they would like done to them. Like, they don't. People can be horrible. And to anyone who is dealing with the same thing or going through the same thing I did, just please always remember that shitty people do shitty things because they're shitty, not because you're shitty. They're just a Huggies diaper, okay? They're horrible, and it has nothing. It took me a long time to believe it, because just Saturday night, I was still upset about it, and I was thinking to myself, what is wrong with me? There is nothing wrong with me, and there is nothing wrong with you, please. And you know, if you go through a situation like I recently have went through, you might be the villain in someone else's story. I would bet all of my money that the people at the job I just left are talking about how I didn't do this, I didn't do that, when I did. I'm sure there were cameras up in there, and if you roll the surveillance, you would just see me going back and forth like a fucking rat, okay? Your girl, like, I would sweat. Like, when I would get off work, my head, like, my face would be so oily. And my face is dry, okay? Like, my face would be so oily and damp. Like, I would be sweating, like, under my armpits. Like, sometimes I know it's really hard, because it's hard for me, but if you know deep down, and I really hate it when people used to say it to me, but now I totally get it. You know, only you know the truth, and a few others. I'm not religious, but only you and the man up there know the truth. And deep down, they know the truth as well, you know, but they're liars. It's in their blood. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna twist the story and be horrible people. You know, I still deal with it. I still deal with people. How do I put this? A few years ago, I was out of high school. I think it was because I was class of 2021. So I want to say back in 2022, this guy was trying to cheat on his girlfriend with me. And I didn't know he had a girlfriend, but I went to his page. Like, he had DM'd me. He was flirting with me. And I was like, oh. I went to his page. His girlfriend's on display. I tell him, please stop flirting with me, or I'm going to tell your girlfriend. he lashes out on me. He calls me a bitch. He calls me a hoe. He says, don't think I don't know about middle school and high school. You effing this, you effing that. Just all this stuff. Calling me all this stuff, bringing up my trauma. And you know what I did? I texted his girlfriend. She broke up with his ass. Okay? Like, it's crazy. And that just goes to show you, you know, like him, I wasn't hurt when he brought it up. I was actually laughing. But him bringing up that stuff that happened years ago, even though it still does, it is my trauma. And sometimes it does hurt to think about or maybe talk about. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But anyway, you know, it's just the fact that, oh my God, I don't know him. First of all, I didn't know him. The fact that I didn't know him and rejected him and he brings that up. Did you even go to my school? I don't know. It's crazy. It's giving obsessed. And a lot of people, even though I'm not the biggest person out there yet, people are obsessed with me. People stalk me. People watch my videos. They share with their friends. They laugh at me. But whatever. At least I'm putting myself out there. You know what the fuck you're doing? They're either fucking baby mamas, miserable with their lives, get no bitches, get no hugs, nothing. Like, nothing. You have no motion in your life. Like, there's no competition here. You could never be me, and I would never want to fucking be you. I'm about to wrap up this video, guys, but my last point is, if you're not being talked about, you know, there's a reason why. Sucks, but there's a reason why people will treat you the way they do. They'll talk about you behind the back the way they do. And you want to know why? It's jealousy. It feels so weird for me to make a video trying to help others, because when I used to get this advice from YouTube videos or The Wizard Liz or my mom, my grandma, it never clicked. But I was like, oh my God, like after a certain amount of time, I was like, well, what else could it fucking be? Looking at them, looking at me, what else could it be? What else could it be? If you know you're a nice person, if you know you didn't do anything to that person, if you look at them and look at yourself. What else could it be, girl or boy? What else could it be? And you want to know why people talk about you? Because if they talk about their fucking self, nobody will listen to that boring ass shit. And you know what, guys? It's like, I guess I am sorry. Like, I'm giving you guys all this advice, but I'm wrapping up, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry that to the people who have done me wrong, that I have to be the villain in your story because you're incapable of holding yourself accountable. I'm sorry that your demons weigh so bad on you that you choose violence onto me or others because you're too weak to seek out healing for yourself. I'm sorry for you. I have no desire to clear my name in anyone's story about me. You know, I interact with people and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I overheard that you were like this, or I overheard that you do this, when I don't. And they're like, and I've had a few people be like, I'm so sorry, like, I can't believe I used to think that way about you. And we're cool. It is what it is. But yeah, guys, that was my video. Thank you to whoever is watching. And I'll see you next time. Hopefully it'll be a lighter topic, but yeah, I love you guys. Thank you guys for I'm glad I am starting to just feel more open, because this was a very touching topic for me, and I just hope it touched you guys as well and just helped you, whether maybe you're someone who screwed up bad in the past, maybe you're someone who's just trying to be a better person, or maybe you're someone trying to gain clarity, as I used to do with YouTube videos, and figure out, you know, why do people treat you the way they do. To both of you out there, everyone, just be better and take accountability and apologize. even if they don't accept your apology, it's okay. Just do better. Love you guys. I'll see you in a video. Be nice to each other, okay? And I'll see you guys next time.